Stop me if you've heard this one before. A big blockbuster movie is making its way to the theaters. The final edits are being put in place when suddenly the studio forces re-edits and even reshoots in order to appease international investors, specifically the communist Chinese. Tinseltown has a history of bowing to dictators in order to make a buck. Now some members of Congress are trying to stop it if they can. Members of the House Select Committee on China recently met with Walt Disney CEO Bob Iger and other entertainment industry executives, including Apple CEO Tim Cook, in order to discuss how best to respond to China's strong-arm tactics aimed at stifling and censoring filmmakers. But are they already on the take to the point where they're not going to be able to do anything about this? Here to discuss this issue is Mike Gonzalez. He is a senior fellow at the Heritage Foundation, and Xi Van Fleet, a senior fellow at 1776 Action and also a survivor of the Communist Revolution in China. Welcome to you both. Mike, I'd like to go to you first. You've been kind of talking about this for a while. This is not necessarily new. Is this the way that they influence our culture? And many of our entertainment companies at this point, they're beholden to China in some fashion. Tell us more about the connections.
Yes, that's right. Hello, and it's great to be on the panel with Xi Van Fleet, who's a hero and a great defender of freedom. This is a battle, as you put it, to replace Western thinking, to taint it. They have many things in common with the woke that we're fighting domestically. They want to taint Western civilization, and then they want to replace it with something else. And they both happen to be Marxists. Now, you're quite right. I wrote my first paper on this in 2015. So it's been going on for a very long time. I think Congress is right to finally look at this, although people like Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz have been looking at it for a very long time. But it's going to be very difficult to unravel. And it's difficult also because Hollywood, these are private entities. And we really don't want the government dictating to them what to do. But if they don't do something, because this is a foreign communist party dictating our worldview, dictating young people how to look at the world.
And they're also trying to sanitize, Xi. They're trying to sanitize the communism for the rest of the world. If we can put that full screen back up again, I just want to show folks, these are all of the movie companies that have financial ties to China. Xi, and these are some films that were produced with Chinese investment capital over the last couple of years. Xi, the New York Times recently reported, quote, that Disney worked overtime to ensure that Mulan would appeal to a Chinese audience, and that filmmakers had to sort of re-script this together with Chinese officials. There was a report also by Air University that noted that Chinese diplomats had to intervene to force Sony to make drastic content changes to the 2014 RoboCop reshoot, as well as 2012's Red Dawn. Some would say, yeah, look, it's a major market. So naturally, these companies would want to target, wouldn't want to offend the marketplace. But Xi, why is this kind of control dangerous for Americans?
Yeah, first of all, I have to say the communist infiltration in America is complete. It is in every level, from school board to corporation to our government. And of course, the CCP, they want to infiltrate and they want to control what even the private company can say or cannot say. But I always pointed out, it's not the CCP. It is the people within that allow them to do those things. Why? Because they are Marxists themselves. They are American communists. They agree with the ideology of the CCP. That's why. So yes, we can look outside and say, how do we stop the infiltration by the CCP? But also we should look inside because they are in the same boat.
You know, Mike, what, and we were talking about this, what really is the message that Americans need to hear about how to push back against this? Again, and Xi makes such an important point that there's an intermingling financially here that is going to be very difficult to decouple unless there is some market pressure here in the U.S.
Look, this is very, I mean, she is right, although I think it's both. We have to walk and chew gum at the same time. I think we have to face our domestic enemies as well as face our external enemies. And the CCP is one of them. I would say it's the top external enemy that we have. But look, Perfect World Pictures, which is probably the biggest Chinese investor. And let's not say, I don't want to say Chinese, I want to say CCPRC. It invests in Miramax, DreamWorks, Universal. Look at YU Brothers. It invests in Universal, Lionsgate, Gracie Films, Paramount, which by the way, Paramount was very brave last year when it defied the PRC and defied the CCP and put on the Taiwan flag on the jacket that Tom Cruise wore in Top Gun.
Yeah.
They take money as well.
Yeah.
You know,
from a courage standpoint, Xi, and I want to get you in real quick here. What do you think, if anything, the Congress really needs to do here? I mean, should there be some sort of regulation about working in conjunction with a communist government, or when it comes to creating content that goes out to the American people? Because there is a malign influence campaign that is going on here.
Absolutely. I think it's a lethal mistake that if we still consider China as just another country, another kind of a normal country, it's not. It's a communist country, and they makes it very clear that their arch enemy is United States of America. And we cannot treat them just like another country. Yeah. When we say, okay, they can do whatever because it's a free country, but the CCP would not allow anything, the social media, the Western media in China. Right. And so we don't push back on that. Yeah, so I do think.
Yeah, but again, there is a double standard here that everybody likes to ignore. I'm going to have to leave it there because I want to bring in John Burnett for his discussion on this. But Mike Gonzalez, Xi Van Fleet, thank you both for all the work that you're doing to highlight this issue. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
All right, I do want to go to John Burnett on this one. John, most Americans have no idea that their movies, many of their movies, are being influenced and funded by communist China. Your thoughts?
Well, let's take a step back, right? China is not only investing in Hollywood, they're investing in Middle America. What do I mean? They're buying farmland, right? And we've seen recent reports that they've established police stations to control. Right, and we know they've already infiltrated into our education system, 1 through 12, and definitely in college. Yeah. So it's no longer they're inching in; they are here. They're here. Yeah. Right. So we are far behind. We should have taken action a long time ago, and I think the action that needs to be taken going forward is more wide-reaching, not just Hollywood, but all over America.
Real quick, we've been talking a lot about Fox News and about the sort of the death of independent media, with the exception of Newsmax in this country. Do we now need a new independent Hollywood as well? Because they're captured by America's greatest enemy in many respects. Do we need new independent studios and independent films now? Do we need to be looking for that?
Well, that will be the spirit of America, right? When major players in an industry go one way and it's against the will of the people and the people don't support it, that's an opportunity from a business perspective for a competitor, right? Once you mix capital with opportunity, you create a whole different competitive landscape.
Yeah. All right. Well, appreciate your comments there.